Hello, and welcome to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. It is the actual Old Town Winchester show today. Brady Cloven is joining me. We are not researching, also known as day drinking, for the show today. But I gotta say, I'm pretty excited at the response that I have gotten from that show. People were sending me text messages asking me which of the three were my favorite drinks. And it was hard because I liked them all.
What did you say?
I told them to go try them all.
Oh, okay. And we only did a third of them.
We only did a third of them,
and
yes.
that was still...
because I had to drive home. Not all of us can have the privilege of living downtown and then just walking home. I had to drive home, so I had to cut it off. And it's kind of ironic that our guest today is Officer Sloan. So, Officer Sloan, give me a little background. First, tell me, what is it that you do exactly?
I'm currently assigned as the downtown mall officer, or Old Town mall officer. It's mainly a foot patrol, so you'll see me down there walking around, talking to people, talking to visitors, talking to our homeless population. Pretty much I'm down there just to keep the peace and make everybody feel safe down on the downtown mall.
How long have you been in law enforcement?
32 years.
Wow.
I started my career in '94 with Fairfax County PD. I spent 28 years there, and then our current acting city manager, John Piper, asked me, I was about to retire, and asked me if I wanted to come up and work up here. And I said, sure, why not? And I've been here for 4 years.
I would imagine that it's polar opposite from being a police officer in Fairfax County to the Old Town Walking Mall.
I have been a resident of this area for 30 years. So I was used to the area, used to the people in the area. But you are right, it's a big change from being down the big city, quote unquote, Fairfax, and coming up here to work. The positives of it is every day people tell me, thanks for doing what you do. They say hi to me, whereas down there that wasn't always the case. So I actually enjoy my current position because I do get to interact with more of the citizens here in Winchester.
And Brady, it's important to have Officer Sloan downtown on the mall just because people do feel safer. He may not be needed at all, but it's the warm fuzzy, I think, that he also provides. And then he is there if something happens and he needs to step in some way.
Oh, yeah. This has been, what, about 4 or 5 months?
September,
6 like that?
September, right around September.
And while the mall may not be like your Fairfax or your big city problems, it still has its own interesting, unique problems being a walking mall and a public gathering space. So I would say that almost immediately, since Corporal Sloan's been on the mall, the merchants feel a lot better. A lot of them have become more vocal just in terms of easier to talk to you and list their concerns and problems. I think it's just been nice to have that solid, open communication. But even just watching, I'm out there on the mall all the time too. Corporal Sloan and Officer Lehman will be out there just talking to everybody. And before the show, we were talking that the unhoused population has its own set of issues on the mall too, but I always see a lot of, I guess you'd call it community policing and community engagement, where it's just checking in, building relationships, building rapport, having that where it's not just cops equal bad,
Right.
It's cops equal help, assistance, just checking in. And that's what Friends of Old Town stands for, is everybody can be a friend, you're welcome here, and then that goes for our municipal partners, our police partners, all that.
Has it been what you thought it was going to be when you took over?
Actually, it's been better. I was asked if I would like the position when Officer Lehman retired, and I had to give it some thought, I'll be honest. My wife encouraged me. She said it might be good for you to be out there. And
She just didn't want you to retire, sit in a recliner, and never get out of it again.
Well, remember, I already retired once. So I think it's been everything I've thought it was going to be and a little bit more. The one thing that I've noticed is that I'm no longer in a cruiser. So I'm out walking and I'm able to actually talk to people and engage with the community and find out. Since I've been down there since September, I'm still learning a little bit about the ebb and flow of the downtown mall, but I have a general good idea of who's supposed to be there, who's going to cause
Who the
trouble,
regulars are.
Who the regulars are. And it's all about communication, even with our unhoused population. It's just about communication. And unfortunately, in this day and age, there's a lot of bad publicity about police officers out there. Like I said, I've been doing it for 32 years, and I don't want people to have that perception. I mean, we are people too. We just have a different job than everybody else.
And we need you to do the job that you have. It is vitally important to all of us, whether we're downtown or at the mall or anywhere else. We need officers and law enforcement officials to do what you do every day.
Yeah, it's been said that everybody meets officers on their worst day. Because people don't usually call the police just to say hi. Let's face some facts. It's
I joked with Brady, I wasn't sure where to park. I said, I've never been here before. He goes, I guess that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. So generally when you call the police, it's because you're having a bad day. Something's going on that you need somebody else to come in and help you out with. So if I could be down on the mall visiting with our visitors, our tourist people, and talking to them and saying, you need to go here, you need to go there, and giving them a better impression of what it's like to talk to police officers, that not only transcends our generation, our age, but also little kids. They see us down there, they come up, they say hi to us, we high five them. It's just about building the community relationship and about being there in case somebody needs us.
It's interesting that you say that. I do a regular show every month with Captain Warren Gosnell from the Fairfax County Sheriff's Office. And we have had conversations in the past where one of his pet peeves is that he would be out somewhere and a parent would say to their child, you better listen or that guy's going to take you to jail. And it drives him up a wall that that's the kind of impression that a parent is giving to their child. And in his case, I don't know what situation it is that they may be seeing him, but in your case, it is a very relaxed, laid back.
Right.
People are down here to have lunch. They're down here to have dinner. They're doing some shopping. So it is a much easier way
Right.
for you to interact with a child without a parent saying something like that.
Yeah, I agree with him. I hate that. I've always hated it. Don't teach your kid that cops are bad. We're here to help. God forbid that little kid gets separated from his parents.
Right?
Now he doesn't want to go see the cop because he was taught that. Yeah, I don't like that, but
My dad was a cop when I was growing up, and that was always fun because there was one time I may have accidentally set a trash can on fire in my aunt's bathroom when I was like 7 years old. And I thought everything had gotten done. I got my punishments, and then the next day his partner came by the house like he usually did and knocked on the door and was like looking for Brady and took me to the cop cruiser, put me in the back of the cop cruiser, and then let me in there for 10 minutes, and then took me out and was like, you'll never set fire again. And I still would not shake that guy's hands. Like I met him 10 years later, I remember his name, and would not shake his hand. So yes, it goes in with that.
I'm not going to go that far over here. I get friends, but
Community policing is very different than being in
It is.
a patrol car or any of the other things that other law enforcement officials do.
yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly going to zip to a call. I try to get there as fast as I can, but yeah, it's a lot different being on foot than it is being in a car. In a car, you drive down the road, and unless somebody waves at you, and you go, hey, I need help, you're pretty much just going with flow of traffic. My favorite time of the day is the morning, my first lap up and down the mall, because I've gotten used to the runners that come down there and walkers. And every morning it's, hey, Officer Sloan, or hey, Rob, because depending upon who it is. To be honest with you, that's been pretty cool. I could deal without the cold weather, but other than
Right?
that.
I want to know how many steps you get in a day. Do you have an
Yeah,
Apple
I do.
Watch that
I
keeps
do.
track? I'm trying to look at your rings now to see if they're all closed.
It's already closed. It closed at 9 o'clock. I average between 15,000 and 20,000 steps a day.
What? I don't know
Yeah.
that I get that many a month. I'll be honest. I'll keep lowering my thing so that at least my rings will close, just so I can have the satisfaction of seeing them all.
The first couple of days I was down there, I probably averaged more than that because I was zipping up and down the mall. And then as I'm settling in, I still get between 15 and 20,000, but it's not quite at the same pace as Brady will tell you. I probably walk a little slower now than I did back then in September. But I've also expanded it a little bit. I'm out in Indian Alley more. I'm out on Cameron Street a little bit more.
That was going to be my next question. So you're not just the Old Town Walking Mall necessarily.
Not necessarily. The way it's set up in our computer-aided dispatch system, so the dispatch system that the dispatchers use, is that it's considered the DTM is Kent Street all the way up to Braddock, Kent Street to Piccadilly to Braddock down Cork. So that is the downtown mall. Now, obviously, if I'm way over on Braddock, I'm not going to get all the way to Cameron very fast. So they try to limit.
We got to get you a Segway.
No. Yeah.
Little
Okay,
hoverboard.
you can't ride your scooter, but I'm gonna ride my Segway.
Yeah,
have
that
enough
could
of-
be
I have
problematic.
enough of
I
a
could
problem
see
with
where
the
that would
scooters
be.
and the bikes. I don't need to be adding fuel to the fire. And the other thing is that I have a tendency to pop up. I don't necessarily.
Sure does.
I don't necessarily. Yeah.
Hey, he popped in when we were doing the walking around last minute shopping ideas. We were standing at Wilkins, and there he was
He
in the
was.
doorway out of nowhere.
Yeah, I have a tendency to be able to just like show up at places and people are like, how did you get here?
He's like Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, there's some secret tunnels under the mall probably that
There,
he's using.
actually, there are.
Oh, I know, but
there are
Yes,
tunnels under the mall.
there are.
I did learn that. Yeah, it is fun things like that. And my niece came in from Texas last year, and we did Ghost Town on the walking mall. And so now that I'm down there, I'm like looking up at certain windows at certain times of the day. Yeah, it's just fun, and it's just interacting with all the tourists is a blast too. Because I had a couple from Alabama last week, come up and they're like, what should we do? And I'm like, go up the stone walls, go over to George Washington's headquarters, go out to the MSV and walk the trails. And they're like, oh, thanks, where should we eat? That's a topic that I don't really, because I don't want to make any one particular restaurant mad. So
Just say, try all of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I usually do. I usually try them all. Or try this one because what are you in the mood for? So
How much time do you have? There are a lot of
Yeah.
questions you have to pre-qualify.
I try to dance around it so that I'm not like, well,
Just act like you get a call. Be like, I gotta go.
I
Sorry.
gotta go back. So,
Yeah, because heaven forbid somebody should find out that you only send people to Snow White Grill.
or Roma, or Water Street's closed right now, or Water Street. Yeah, God forbid that would happen. I may point them in the direction of Bonnie Blue for breakfast in the morning, just because there's not a large selection on the downtown mall
For breakfast.
or over to Need Bread. But for the most part, it's like, what are you in the mood for? Then we go through this whole sort of like trying to decide where you're going to go with your spouse.
Let's take a break. When we come back, can we talk a little bit more about what your experience has been so far?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to do all that when we come back. We are recording in advance. We're sitting at the Timbrook Public Safety Building. Brady Cloven sitting here next to me. He is Executive Director for the Friends of Old Town. We're talking with Corporal Sloan. He's the Old Town Walking Mall Law Enforcement Officer. We're going to come back and talk more with him in just a couple of minutes.
This Saturday, Henry Mueller will change the world. He has no idea that's what he's going to do. He only knows that he went to justserve.org and signed up to spend time at a senior center Saturday morning. As he browsed through service opportunities in his own community, he remembered the words of Paul to the Galatians, "By love serve one another." Little does Henry know that Saturday morning he'll end up speaking to one senior in particular who hasn't seen his family in several weeks and is feeling especially lonely. Henry doesn't know the short time he'll spend with this man will lift his spirits, cheer his heart, and make his life just a little better. Through love and service this Saturday, Henry Mueller will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Old Town Winchester Day. We are sitting at Timbrook Public Safety Building. Brady Cloven sitting to my left, Executive Director of Friends of Old Town. I've got Corporal Sloan sitting to my right. He is the Old Town Walking Mall Law Enforcement Officer. I love seeing you downtown. I gotta tell you, for all the times that I have been down since you've started, it's been really cool to just see you walking around. I've seen you in stores. I also like that you know who I am. There's just something about seeing you and knowing that you know me that makes the whole Old Town experience a little bit nicer.
That's because you're on a list.
That's probably true too. Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
That's not that kind of show.
That gets back to the whole community-oriented policing, the whole getting out of the cruiser. There's a lot to be said about having a cruiser, trust me, but there's also a lot to be said about working foot patrols.
When you first started, how did that work? Did you go around and introduce yourself to the businesses? Was there a meeting? Because I know you attend the community meetings. Walk me through how it was those first couple of months.
So the first couple of days I was there, I was with Officer Lehman, who was kind of showing me the ropes and introduced me to some of the businesses. And then as time went on, I went into more and more. I still haven't, I'll be honest, I haven't been in all the businesses yet. There's a couple that I haven't been in yet. But for the most part, I would go in and introduce myself to the businesses and tell them who I was and if they needed anything, how to get a hold of me.
How do they do that? Do they call dispatch?
They call dispatch because if I'm not working, you're going to want a patrol officer to
That's
come
true.
down there.
And you're not necessarily going to want me texting you at 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon when it's not your day on the job.
Exactly. Yeah, because several people asked me for my cell phone number, and I'm like, you can call dispatch.
And that's what it's there for. Let's be
Right.
honest. That's what dispatch is for.
I already have to have my phone on because I'm a member of our crisis negotiation team, so I don't need it ringing off the hook all the time. So I introduced myself to several of the businesses. I had some stickers made up that had dispatch's phone number on them so I could pass out to some of the businesses that didn't know they could call dispatch. And then I guess within the first month, they had a Friends of Old Town meeting over at the Brewworks.
Mm-hmm.
Chief Lewis and I went over, and they introduced me there. And I've been pretty much attending them ever since.
Now you're a regular.
Yeah. Which, For me, it's great because it gives me a sense of what's going on, not only just on the downtown mall, but in the general community itself. We need a lot of information, and sometimes that's also how I learn when special events are happening in the mall.
Oh, yeah, because you're like a roving tourism director down on the mall, because people are going to stop and ask you, hey, what's happening? Like you mentioned earlier, where should I go have lunch? Or do you know where Winchester Book Gallery is? Or any of those kinds of things. You've got to know a lot of things about what's happening down
Patsy
here.
Cline's residence, that's a good one because it's not down here. I'm like, no, it's 4 blocks
that way.
Should I walk or should I drive?
How you feeling today?
Yeah, how you feeling today? Because it's quite high. Particularly on the weekends when I work the weekends, we have a lot of out-of-town guests come in and they ask a lot of questions about the Civil War Museum or what was this building for. And so it's also forced my hand to learn a little bit more about the history of Winchester because I don't want to go,
I don't know. Now, are you here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? Do you have a rotating schedule?
I have a rotating schedule.
Because that makes sense. You can't be here 24/7.
Right. So I have a rotating schedule, and that also helps with what we talked about earlier, where I have a tendency just to pop up somewhere. It keeps everybody guessing when I'm working. Like I said earlier, if I am not working, then dispatch will just send a regular patrol officer.
We were talking earlier about how many steps you get in a day, and I joked that we should get you a Segway, and you said, no, I'm not going to do that because bikes and scooters on the mall is a bit of an issue.
Yes, it's calmed down in the wintertime, and I haven't been there through a full spring/summer.
It's going to get crazy.
But it is against city ordinance to ride on the downtown mall. Any bicycle, scooter, skateboard, roller skates.
E-bikes.
And it's not because we're trying to be mean. It's a safety
It's
issue.
safety.
We get large crowds down there, especially on the weekends, and we get people on their bikes going excessive speeds.
Those e-bikes can fly. I mentioned earlier, Captain Gosnell, I've had conversations with him about whether you should have to have a driver's license and all of the things to drive some of those, because they're quick.
I had a scooter this morning right next to me on Berryville doing 35 miles an hour, speed limit, and he's keeping up to me, and I'm like,
oh.
Not against the law, there's nothing I can do, but it's just a safety thing. I don't try to be a Grinch about it, but obviously if you keep doing it over and over and over and over and you've been warned multiple times, something's going to happen. Part of it is just education. If it's the first time I've seen you doing it, I'm probably just going to warn you, say, hey, you can't ride it down here. But if I keep seeing you repetitively and have to keep telling you the same thing over and over again, then I have to be the cop. And
so much of what you do is ideally more of a deterrent than it is anything. People know you're down there, they see you around, and so it keeps them from doing something that they might otherwise do. That in and of itself is probably a lot of the job.
Yeah, that's why I do walk as much as I do. I do pop up in different places. I am wearing a uniform versus being in plain clothes. There's an old theory I learned way back in the day about broken window theory, where if you drive by a building that has a broken window, typically nobody will bother that building for the next hour because they see your presence, your police presence there. I'm not saying I'm the world's best crime fighter. I'm not Superman, but I try to maintain visibility. As much as the weather has been fluctuating recently, I was still out there when it was 10 degrees on the downtown mall. I don't know what it is about the mall. It's unique that the wind blows both directions. Like if you walk north, you have a headwind. If you turn around and start walking south, you have a headwind. I haven't figured it out
yet. And if you go up the Taylor alleyway,
yes,
that's
if you go up Taylor
Alley.
Alley,
It's like a tornado.
Yeah, it's like a tornado through there. So, I haven't quite figured out that whole that weather system right there, but it's quite unique to the downtown mall.
With the motorbikes and scooters and all that, like part of the community meeting the past few months, that's come up too. So it's been great to have Corporal Sloan there to talk to the business owners directly, to be like, hey, this is what we're doing to try to curb that. Again, it's an issue that if you don't see it when it's happening, you can't do anything about it. But also even coming up with ideas like more visible signage about how this is prohibited on the mall, because the ones that we have currently, we've talked where sometimes they're hidden when the planters get overgrown, or maybe they blend into the background. Just starting that conversation of, okay, here's the problem that people are complaining about, what are the solutions that we can all work together. That's been great. I think it helps the business owners know that they're heard and that things are getting taken up the chain.
And it's a unique area because you don't just have the businesses and the restaurants that are on the mall. There are so many apartments and places that people live above, and Winchester is so easy to get around using an e-bike or a scooter that a lot of these people don't even own cars. So it's their mode of transportation. It's just a little more complicated when they live on the mall and want to ride on the mall.
And don't forget, the mall actually is an active roadway in the morning before the
that's
bollards
true.
get shut at 10:45. So you add that into the mix. So it's kind of a complicated issue that, like Brady said, we're trying to come up with a feasible solution to it, but
takes time.
it takes time. But like I said, it is still against city ordinance to be, and it's a safety thing. It has nothing to do with we don't want you to have fun.
No. And that's the whole premise of having someone like Corporal Sloan on the mall, is that safety. That's what it's all about. It's not that you're expecting him to necessarily catch somebody robbing one of the banks. It's right. But it makes me, as someone who comes and has dinner or shops or meets friends for coffee, feel better knowing that it's a safer environment because he's here and he's walking around and just being present.
Yeah, just a very calming presence. With the mall being what we describe as like the heart of tourism to Winchester, right? This is obviously where most people gather on the weekends for special events or just during the year. You have some cities where it looks like you have armed guard going down their main streets, and like that doesn't really do anything for anybody.
No.
So I think the way that the city has really understood the character of Old Town and the Walking Mall and has then had the strategy around it has been super great, and Corporal Sloan is definitely a huge part of
And
that.
I think the businesses appreciate it. I know from years ago, it was a big deal that they didn't have anybody. They didn't have access to somebody. So having you now, for them to see and then to reach out to if some weird wonky thing happens, makes them happier. And if you have a happier business owner, ideally then you have a happier community downtown.
Yeah, and then my job is better, and I'm happier. And now I can actually get you to sign up for the dunk tank at Kids Fest this coming year.
Probably not. But we'll talk.
Can he spin? Can he do the
You can spin
spinning
to
thing?
Winchester.
Oh,
The spinning
I
class.
just saw that on
That's just
Facebook.
like steps, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I
is
just
when
saw that-
bikes are okay.
Yeah, but not on the downtown.
Not on the
Right.
downtown mall. Yeah. February, we have a ton of stuff coming up, but the first thing is actually end of January, January 31st. At Winchester Brew Works, they're doing a sausage gravy cook-off.
Yes.
So they always do a chili cook-off that benefits the NAACP, but they got a lot of people asking for sausage gravy this year. So there's going to be 8 different contestants, and Clem's Kitchen is going to donate the biscuits.
Best
and you can
biscuits
come in,
ever.
and the suggested donation is $10, and you can try all the sausage gravy.
Oh, yeah.
And you vote on it.
I was scrolling through Facebook, sitting on the sofa, and I guess I stopped to look at the TV, and the post that I'd stopped on was their post. And my husband, who's not allowed to have Facebook because he doesn't know how to talk to people, particularly on social media.
I may or may not have had the same issue.
Right. But he sees the salt. He goes, "What's that sausage? What's all that?" And so, yes, we're coming
well.
because he feels the need to have to vote. And
Support
you
a
had
small
him at
business.
Clem's Kitchen. He loves their biscuits. We've been there for breakfast. Their sausage gravy is nothing to sneeze at either.
Yeah, I think Amanda is entering her
Yes.
sausage gravy, so it should be a good time. I think that sausage gravy and biscuits are a lot more filling than little cups of chili, so we'll see how that goes with the judges. I don't have to judge this time, but that's going to be exciting. And then going into February is one of our busiest months of events. So February 7th, the Saturday before Valentine's Day, is the annual Chocolate Escape. I believe this is going to be the 8th or 9th. And the goal of that one is to create an event that actually pushes people into stores. So participating stores will usually offer some sort of discounted chocolate or a chocolate treat with discounts throughout their store. So if you go in there and you purchase something, you get fresh baked chocolate. I think last year, Snow White Grill partnered with Red Fox Creamery and did like a burger and milkshake combo. So some people have already come up to me to give me their ideas, and it sounds like it's going to be super exciting this year.
Nice.
And I think in previous years we've used like red balloons, but as we found out last year, when it's cold and rainy, balloons deflate very quickly. And as much as I love Old Town, I'm not a huge fan of using helium to blow up balloons under the Taylor Pavilion in the rain and sleet. So I think we're going to do some red bows this year. There will be something that will direct you into the participating stores, a map, all that good stuff. And then we have our annual fundraiser. It's our second time doing it, but it's Spin to Winchester, and we're partnering with Valley Health Fitness and Wellness Center. And the whole goal behind it is it's a weatherproof way to all get together, spin for raising money to Winchester. So it's a spin cycle class that I think this year is going to have blacklight in there and some really fun disco themes. But you, as a rider, crowdfund $250 to ride and then try to raise as much money as possible. So there's awards for most money raised. There's awards for the sweatiest rider.
Ew.
This year, every rider will get a free drink ticket to Dividing Creek where we'll gather afterwards. And,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's,
Because they're going to need it.
you know, like most
Except for the
people-
sweaty guy. He should go home first, take a shower,
Yeah.
and then come over.
Most people people will work out for beer, I've found. And then February is Black History Month. So there's a ton of really great organizations within Old Town and around Old Town doing stuff that we'll start highlighting out. As for Friends of Old Town, we're partnering with a couple businesses. So we're going to have a small plates and jazz night at Bistro Sojo on February 11th, which is going to be reservation only. But we're partnering with Shenandoah University to have some of their jazz players come in and play for the night.
Nice.
And we're going to partner with Brightbox to do a history and cocktails night during Restaurant Week, which is the 23rd through the 1st of March. And then we're going to partner with the Typewriter Studio and Selah Theater to do a sort of Black history storytelling and craft night.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. February is definitely full. And then, like I said, Restaurant Week, which we're not overseeing, but we're definitely going to help amplify for the city of Winchester, will be February 23rd through March 1st.
And that's the cool part about what you do too, is there's always something happening downtown. It's not like every day is the exact same day. It's always something different.
Oh yeah, and that's why I said to go into the meetings once a month has been very helpful. Except for when I bump into Brady on the mall, I don't know what's going on. And it's nice to have a couple of heads up about certain events that are coming up, and it's different every day.
And you want people to introduce themselves. So as people are listening to the show, they find themselves downtown and they see you, you want them to come up and say, hey, I heard you on the radio, and just introduce themselves if nothing else.
Most definitely. I did Officer Lehman and I did the newspaper article a couple months ago now. And yeah, for about a week afterwards, people go, I read that article. And that's a lot of fun too, because you're also getting to meet new people that you wouldn't normally just bump into. So yeah, I don't have a problem people coming up and saying, hi, how you doing? I'm so-and-so.
Thank you, Corporal Sloan, for taking the time to chat with Brady and I today.
No problem, I enjoyed it.
And I will see you in February. Maybe we'll eat or drink or do something that month.
We could do a pre-Restaurant Week show. Maybe.
Yeah. Can we go to Paladin?
Yeah, they actually opened back up today.
I know. I will be back on Monday with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, a few minutes after noon. Meet me back here then.